I really did not know how based, like the level, the extent of the basedness of Mark Ruffalo. And there was this really amazing Mehdi Hassan interview
Seen you
that I wanted to watch
really
with
go
you guys.
hard at people.
That's true. Okay, fine. I'll go hard at you.
No,
then.
no, I was kidding.
You have Hakeem Jeffries, you have Chuck Schumer, all friends of Wall Street, friends of big tech. These guys won't even endorse Mamdani. Are they the leaders the Democratic Party need at this moment?
They are the absolute antithesis of what the Democratic Party needs right now.
Do you think it's the donors?
It's the donor class.
You take Iraq, you take the financial crisis to crash in 08, and you're creating a toxic brew for a populist to run on as an anti-establishment guy.
100%. And then you kill Bernie. This is absolutely a genocide.
Child killed
this
every
is
hour.
A famine, a genocide, ethnic cleansing.
Where people tell you, I would love to speak out like you, Mark,
Yes.
but I won't get another role again.
There's that fear. And then I spoke out, and I got attacked in a way that I did not think was possible. If you take the truth and you bury it, put it in a box and bury it in the ground, it can't help but explode one day.
We're like facing fascism.
We are facing fascism, and they're acting like this is just another...
I gotta write a sternly worded letter.
Sternly worded letter. Ah!
It's been said a million times more eloquently, but it's just so easy to be conservative because you never at any point in your life have to question anything your parents or Hollywood or the news tells you. Your politics are simply, I'm literally John Wayne / McClane, bro. Yeah. I didn't really love him in Mickey 17, but he's so based. He's so based. I liked him. I thought he did a really good job in that. I don't know. Okay, I will admit the first like 5 to 10 minutes are mostly about Marvel and like the things that he's working on, and then the next like 20 to 30 are about actual politics, so we can skip out.
I'm Mehdi Hassan.
And I'm Mark Ruffalo.
And we're not kidding. The Zeteo podcast where I get to talk to funny people, artistic people about serious things. And
Mickey 17 was worth watching. Was it? Yes, it was. Oh my God. I cannot believe I put off watching it because like the IMDb rating for it is a 6.7. It is not a 6.7. That movie is at least an 8. At least. For me, it was like a 9. I think subjectively it's a 9. Objectively, I think it's at least an 8. It's such a good watch. It is such a good watch. It's like, admittedly, like there isn't, the story, or sorry, it doesn't lead with a plot. The plot gets developed towards the end of the movie. But it's just like, it's such a good movie. It's just such a good movie. I saw it and it sat at a 6.5 for me. I fell asleep and I had to rewatch. Really? I don't know. Maybe I just like really like the premise and stuff. I really like it. I don't know. The only draw to the movie is Batman. Are you talking about Robert Pattinson? Yeah, all the actors were really good. I loved the characters that were written in there. It was so good. It was so boring and predictable. Like, it was fine. Really? Any Bong Joon-ho film is an auto 8 or better? Wow. Is it as good as Parasite? No, it's not as good as Parasite. It's not. It's not as good as Parasite. It wasn't that good. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. I don't know. I thought it was good. I don't know. It's like my ADHD brain. If a movie can manage to entertain me and I'm not bored during any of it, and I think I watched all of it in one watch. Maybe I watched it in 2. I usually watch movies in 2 pieces because I just don't want to sit down on my fucking couch for like 2 hours. But I was entertained the whole time. I was entertained literally the whole time. So, okay, moving on. I saw it in theaters. I would have loved seeing it in theaters. Okay, moving on.
Funny things, I hope. Mark, welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here. Finally.
Finally. You know, I had to go back and check. You know, I interviewed you in October 2020 when I launched my MSNBC.
Because you were high? What are you talking about? No, I was sober when I watched it. What? Clickbait, stream title, no LMFAO. This guy's name is Hassan. I don't know what you're talking about.
T-show at the time. We were remote. It was pandemic.
Yes.
5 years later, finally got you for a sit down. You and I have talked online. We've texted back and forth late at night about the future of our crazy country. And finally, we got in person here in
Yeah.
New York. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm scared of you.
Why are you scared of me?
Because I've seen you like really go hard at people.
Well, why would I go hard at you?
I don't know.
I'm
You
not
should
gonna
go hard at
You're-
everybody.
That's true. Okay, fine. I'll go hard at you.
No,
then.
no, I was
all right,
kidding.
let's talk. No. Seriously though, I am restraining every fanboy impulse because you are a lefty, you're a progressive,
Yeah,
you are pro-Palestine,
that's right.
and you're an Avenger. So it's like the trifecta for me.
Good.
I'm like, be still my beating heart. Right here I am.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be a fanboy. We're gonna talk.
You can fanboy.
Although actually,
Yeah.
you've been quite a good fan of ours. You've been
I
a
am a
great
huge
supporter
fan
of Zeteo.
of yours.
When we
From the
launched
beginning.
Zeteo, you are what I think the kids call a day one fan. Right? When
That's
we launched,
me.
I appreciate you. When we
I
launched,
was before you started Zeteo. I was a big fan.
no, I appreciate that. But when we launched, it was a big thing for us. It was like 4 of us launched a media company.
Look at you now.
And look at us now. You said I went back and checked. You tweeted us on the day. It was so nice. You said I was hoping for something like this. No more censorship. Journalism at its finest. I think we can agree the censorship's gotten worse since then.
Not for you.
Not indeed. And we're
No, and I think that people are flocking to. I mean, I think that people are really responding to that. I mean, you've launched this thing. It's what it's
a year and a half. Year and a half.
Yeah,
Less than a year and a half, yeah.
I mean, did you ever expect it to do what it's doing?
I'll be honest, no, not where we are now. Thank you everyone at home for watching the podcast. Subscribe.
When did this interview happen? I think it was like 4 days ago, something like that. This is a bromance. I know. I'm just like bringing joy to my heart.
Here we are sitting down with Mark Ruffalo, talking about politics, chewing the fat. Before we get to news and heavy stuff, got to talk about Task.
Yeah.
Task is your new show. Mark's in a new show.
Which isn't heavy at all.
It's very light and whimsical.
Right, yeah.
It is very heavy. Right?
Yeah.
It's Brad Inglesby. It's the guy who made Mayor of Easttown.
That's right.
Which is a great.
It's crazy that he's still with Disney, that he hasn't been dropped by them. Well, I think that Mark Ruffalo has such a big presence. It's not like he's Gina Carano, who's like a literal megalo. I think he is just he's too big as an actor now. Like they can't stop him. He has too much star power. Exactly. And like they don't want to get another Hulk. They don't want to fucking do that.
Show with Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
We all watched that show with her hilarious accent. We'll talk about your accent in a moment.
Okay.
But just give us the elevator pitch to people who haven't seen it. What is Task?
It's really a cops and robbers show. It's basically the garbage men hitting drug houses and ripping off drug dealers.
But not you. You are?
No, and I play an FBI agent who's on their tail. And there are these parallel stories running throughout this investigation. But also you see 2 men who are dealing with really just heavy family issues and loss and blue collar, being a blue collar American and the struggles of that. Yeah. And how law enforcement sort of comes up against like real human beings and decisions that they
real
make.
communities.
And real communities.
You are fantastic.
So it's like his character from Now You See Me. Stop rewatching the video, dude. Stop.
Yeah, I'm not just saying that. It is. I was watching.
And yes, it does, Vascular.
Okay, this is a very different role for Mark that I've seen recently.
Yeah.
You're a cop. You're an FBI agent who was a priest beforehand.
That's right.
And I just wonder watching that. Are you a man of faith? I don't know.
I don't want to say I ascribe to any particular faith, but it's funny. I was raised in a household that had Catholicism as an Italian American. Then my mother became evangelical Christians.
Okay.
Jimmy Swaggart saved me.
Okay.
And my father was a Baha'i.
Oh,
and
interesting.
so I had basically almost the entire Middle East in my family. And the conflicts of those religions. Honestly, of all of them, and I was steeped in them. I went to Sunday school.
I loved him in Eternal Sunshine. You know, you're so right. You're so right, dude. We have no choice but to stand.
I went to Bible study.
You know your Bible.
Yeah, and I also went to Firesides, which is the Baha'i version of communion, of community, of fellowship. And the one that resonated the most with me and felt the most honest and the least hypocritical were the Baha'is.
Wow.
And You know, that if there's a religion that I relate to, that's probably the one that I relate to the most.
Which was your father's religion, you said?
Which is my father's religion.
You play a priest who's now FBI agent, and this is interesting. So, looked at some of your roles.
Okay.
You were a defense attorney in Dark Waters.
Yeah.
You were a reporter in Spotlight. You're a U.S. Marshal in Shutter Island. You're an FBI agent in Now You See Me. You're a detective in Zodiac and Collateral. You like investigating stuff on screen, don't you?
I really do.
You do, don't you? Getting to the bottom of things.
I keep coming back to it. You know, it's funny because we just did a reading of All the President's Men for a fundraiser.
Oh, wow.
And actually Rami was in it. Rami played Bernstein.
Oh, fantastic. I can't wait.
It was amazing.
Well, should we get to see it, or is it like a private thing?
There'll be a stream of it at some point here. But I remembered seeing that movie as a kid and being like, this is the most exciting. Would be the most exciting, other than being maybe a soldier or something as a young person. This would be the most exciting job because you're like unrest, dangerous,
and you did Spotlight, which is a true story,
yes.
Of course.
Those true stories they're great.
But I love the fact that lefty Mark Ruffalo is defined by being an FBI agent often on screen.
I know.
Also, in Task, it's set like Mayor of Easttown.
I keep thinking, why do they come to me?
They come to you
because I was running from the police as a kid. You know.
All right. Do you want to tell us one of those stories?
I was just a a ne'er-do-well kid.
A ne'er-do-well. So this is set, the show, in kind of suburban Philadelphia in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. Delco, which has renowned for its particular accents, I think it's fair to say. Was it harder doing the accent for this show or being the Hulk in Avengers?
Doing the accent for this show.
Is accents hard for you? Some actors love it, some struggle.
Yeah, that's probably not my forte. I'll never forget after Poor Things, I sat with an English journalist. He's like, where did you get that accent?
Honestly, me doing accents at any given time.
That's not. Where'd that come from? You're not doing a very good British accent. And I said, well, how do you know he's British?
You're just taking a shot at something.
Totally.
Oh my god!
But the character's such a.
It's like me for real.
The character's a great character.
He's such a phony, that character. So
I was a fan of yours before you were in the Hulk, but once you became the Hulk, my whole family all became big fans of yours. The way what you brought to that role, I think people have loved it over the years. You've appeared in a lot of movies. I believe you're going to be appearing in the next Spider-Man movie as well. That's what I'm hearing.
I can't confirm or deny it.
Okay. You can't confirm or deny. Well, that's what I'm reading. What I'm reading is that the Hulk may be making a comeback in Spider-Man Brand New Day next year. You are a Marvel elder statesman. What is your favorite part about being in Marvel movies, apart from the endless fame and wealth and getting to play a superhero on screen? Apart from all of that, what do you love about being in Marvel movies?
Those are the least favorite parts.
Oh, yeah.
Just having the continuity. You know, as an actor, you're kind of familyless. You're going from one extreme situation to the next. You make these tight knit groups and then you break apart. And rarely ever do you have the kind of continuity that you do.
Over a decade or more.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought I would have a real legit steady job.
This is it. Being an Avenger is your steady job.
It is. It's my steady job.
What do you do for a living? I'm the Hulk.
And not only that, I mean, I also have a very short attention span, and so So the other great thing about it is each movie you do is kind of a different universe. It's especially if you're working with different directors, because what I love about Marvel is they really
Dude, he's just like me for real. Like, he really is just like me for real.
do let the director sort of create a whole nother world. So you go from Avengers to like Thor Ragnarok.
Very different, like a comedy.
Extremely different.
What do you make? I know you've been asked this before, but I feel strongly about this because people often say to me, like, oh, what do you do to relax and switch off? And I'm like, I watch Marvel movies. I watch Jason Statham movies. Like, and I appreciate them. They have their role, but then there is a kind of snobbery. You know this. You're in films that have been up for awards, and you're in Task, which I'm sure is going to walk away with a lot of awards. Serious, heavy stuff. But then you also do Marvel. Then you have kind of you have the Martin Scorseses of this world saying, like, it's not real movies. Like, what is someone like you who does do real movies? What do you say?
This is my exact opinion on like Marvel movies. I don't get like the irrational hatred of Marvel movies. Like the people who are like, well, they're cringe. It's like, so That's your issue with it? That's your issue with Marvel movies, that they're cringe? That's such a stupid fucking reason to dislike a movie. What the fuck?
To that.
I don't know. It's acting to me. It's all filmmaking.
And storytelling.
It's storytelling.
Yeah.
And I came from the theater, and you know, in the theater, no, you're never plugged in.
I swear to God, I feel like sometimes chatters just like they want to disagree just to disagree, because like you created a whole new sentence, man. Marvel and military are all buddy girl, your worst take, ma'am. You invented this take. I said I don't like people who say that their reason for not liking Marvel is that it's cringe. I didn't mention any other reason for disliking Marvel. You created this in your brain. All I said was, I don't like people who say they don't like Marvel movies because they're cringe. I swear to God, there are sometimes I feel like people just want to come in just to disagree. Just they're like, well, you're wrong. It's like, I didn't even say anything that was wrong. I didn't even say anything that was wrong.
Into a genre, you know, you're always free in the theater. You could do a comedy one season, and then a drama, a melodrama, you could do different styles. You could be doing farce, Moliere, Shakespeare, something modern, gritty.
I've never seen anyone say that. What do you mean? There are so many people. I mean, literally, Mehdi Hassan is bringing it up right now, that there are so many people that think that it's such slop, that how dare you enjoy a Marvel movie? It's literally slop. And this isn't even coming from someone who's a Marvel, like, fan. Like, there are Marvel movies that I think are pretty good, and there are Marvel movies that I think are pretty ass. And that's it. That's my... Like, I still have yet to watch. I still don't know what happens after Thanos snaps half of them, because I've never watched the sequel. I mean, I read the spoilers. I think they come back. I still haven't seen it. I'll watch it eventually. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, they're gone. All right, well. And the only reason I watched that movie was because I was hanging out with a friend, and they're like, do you want to see this? And I'm a very, like, yes person. So I'm like, sure, yeah, let's go see it. Why not? It's people who are like 30 plus who are super pretentious about movies. But the thing is, it's like you can like slop and also like good stuff, right? It's kind of like the way that you view like Mexican food versus Taco Bell. Taco Bell is pretending to be Mexican food, but we all know Taco Bell is not Mexican food. Taco Bell is Taco Bell. Just because I like Taco Bell doesn't mean I don't like Mexican food. And just because I like Mexican food doesn't mean I dislike Taco Bell. I can like both of these things at the same time and know that they're very different. And it's the same thing with films. I can like really deep, intricate movies that are, you know, highbrow. And also, I can enjoy the occasional Marvel movie. Like, you can like both of these things at the same time. Like, it's really not that crazy. It's really not that insane.
And so there's never that kind of buttonholing that happens. And so I just see it as acting, you know, and storytelling. And I like to do it all. I don't give a shit. You know.
That's the right attitude.
I really don't.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't care. I mean, this is it, man. We got one shot at it. I'm gonna please myself as far as my art goes, you know.
And you look like you're enjoying it, both on.
That indicates that there's a good Marvel movie. I mean, I thought No Way Home was a really good Marvel movie. Spider-Man getting hunted by the state for shit that he didn't do, while all he's trying to do is like be a good noodle. Like, well, and then like he has to like he has to stop himself from losing himself because he's grieving loss. Like, I think that that's a great, you know, premise. I thought it was really good.
I'm having the best time, and I love it, and I love the cruise. I love the whole culture of it.
And I don't, for people watching who are not Marvel fans, first, sad for you. Second, it is hard to explain to people who are not Marvel fans what it was like sitting in Endgame and watching Cap say the line. Like, you watch those YouTube videos of the crowd going nuts, or when the hammer goes up.
Yeah.
Like all those moments,
It's-
or when you turn up in the original Avengers and say, "I'm always angry." Like
Yes.
those moments for me
Yes.
are just great moments
Yes.
of entertainment. There's some
Yes.
stuff I will fondly remember in decades to come.
For all of the criticism that we might get from some of the highbrow directors, I have never sat in one of those movies where I've seen people literally screaming, crying, beating their chests. I was in when I went to see Avengers 2 with my son.
The weakest one.
Yeah, no, Avengers 3.
Oh,
Actually.
3. The Age of Ultron. Not the best one.
Yeah, no, but it was Endgame.
Yes.
And
Endgame's the greatest.
literally, when that movie ended, I was and I went with my son to
Denims, did you enjoy Civil War? I haven't seen it.
no one knew who I was. I had a hood on. I was just low in my seat. I was with a bunch of these.
Can you imagine if people
his
around
mates
you
from
know
school.
that
They had
the
no
Hulk was
idea.
sitting in their room?
They had no idea.
Oh, I
right?
would have gone mad.
And at the end of the movie, they jumped up. They were on their seats. They're like, "Start a riot! Start a riot!" They flipped out.
You were there with your kid.
Yeah.
What do your kids make of you being the Hulk?
Were
they into comics, Marvel?
When they were young, yeah. It was like the greatest thing in the world when they were young. No.
They were like happy. Like,
Yeah, Matthew's a big Marvel head,
I can imagine
right?
my kids rolling their eyes if I told them I just.
Okay, I wanted to show all of this stuff because I feel like it leads into the conversation that they have in a little bit, which is why I wanted to play it. Winter Soldier. You know, I'm gonna be honest. I love Bucky, but I've tried to watch the Winter Soldier like 3 times and I just keep getting bored. So I'll watch it one of these days. I like the idea of the Winter Soldier. You know? Okay. I wanted to skip ahead a little bit.
He can do anything. Why not?
Why half the planet?
Yeah.
So random.
Yes. Why half the world? Why half the universe?
Yeah.
Why?
So random.
Why not snap and make abundance for everybody?
Did you see there was a great academic paper written about if the snap was real, how would it work when they all came back? Because you wouldn't have enough food or resources for billions of people arriving back in the world. And what would happen to people who remarried in the process and that their spouse turns up again and they got 2 husbands?
That's incredible.
All the things you need to think about when you're doing a Marvel movie.
I love so. Was that someone's thesis?
That's like someone wrote. I read it.
This is such peak nerd for Matthew.
A few years ago, a serious paper. Scholarly paper. Right. How would we have abundant resources where when people come out farming would have been geared for because the planet would be geared for a smaller population and all that stuff. Right now in the real world, we're in a real shit show. Before I get to that, I got to ask. Where do your politics come from? You are a very political person. You don't hide it. You're out there on social media. You're at protests. Where does it come from? You mentioned your family, your parents. Does it go back to your childhood? Where does it come from?
Some of it comes from my dad, who was very much a humanitarian kind of. My dad, we had a painting company, and he was a foreman, and he would always side with the union against his own family, and he got in a lot of trouble for that within our family. Honestly, what I took from the religious teachings that actually moved me were the idea that
the Winter Soldier is boring. That's crazy to me. It's actually a great movie. It actually angered the U.S. military so much they stopped working with Disney for Marvel movies for a while. I said I haven't finished the movie. The same way that I had to rewatch the first episode of Game of Thrones 6 times before I finally committed. Because I would watch the first episode, I'm like, this is so boring. Oh my God. And then I would just drop it. And then I would do it again and again and again until eventually I was like, I'm going to watch 3 full episodes. I'm going to fucking do it. I'm going to power through. I'm going to watch 3 episodes this time. I'm going to fucking do it. And then it was actually really good until it, got bad until season 5 hit and then it was over. But the first 4 seasons are amazing. They were so good. And then it's the same thing with the Winter Soldier. I've watched the first 20 minutes of that movie 3 different times, and I'm just like, what happened? What did I miss? I'm sure the rest of the movie is good if I could just get through the first 20 minutes of the movie. I'm not making a comment about the movie. I don't rate movies I haven't fully watched. That was not a comment on whether the movie is good. That was not a comment on whether the movie is bad. That was a comment on I haven't watched it because I can't get through the first 20 minutes because the intro is the lead up is just very boring. But anywho, yeah. Okay. It's just like a personal opinion, okay.
We had to fight for the people who had less, and to love our brothers, and our neighbors, and the idea that
You always seem to be bored by everything you first watch. Well, that's why I rated, listen, that's why I fucking rated Mickey 17 so high. It's like, I was entertained that whole movie. I had no desire to look at my phone. And as like a general rule of thumb, I try never to look at my phone when I watch movies, because you're taking away from the experience. Like, you should watch a movie fully, completely, because you don't want to miss anything. Because there's like little things that the director puts in. There's little things that the costume artists put in. There's little things that the, audio engineers put in. You should watch it completely and fully. And when a movie makes me want to take my phone out, I get really mad. And when a movie doesn't make me want to do that, I'm very happy. And that's, for me, when I watched Mickey 17, I was fully immersed. I did not want to look at my phone for even a moment. In fact, I was annoyed that I was getting alerts on my phone while I was watching. I was like, dude, I'm fucking trying to pay attention to this movie. There's so much dialogue and stuff happening.
That you sacrifice for the greater good. Like, those were all concepts that I learned as a boy that really resonated with me. There were the mystical parts of this ideological, dogmatic, religious teaching. And watching the degradation. I lived on Lake Michigan when I was a kid, and we saw that lake was so polluted that the fish had cancers growing as you saw them swimming. And there was an environmental movement that started at that time. And I saw that lake get cleaned up within 4 or 5 years.
So you thought it could be done?
So I saw it could be done.
I read somewhere that in 2008, you were worried that gas companies were scoping out your land, your family's land in Calico, New York. And that's what led you to become the very famous, people knew you first for kind of anti-fracking.
Yeah, I was living in the gaslands, the sacrificial zone for, the American fossil fuel industry. And I went to a meeting with a bunch of people from DMIC, PA. It was with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., by the way.
Oh, back when he was a good guy.
When he was a good guy.
And then it was at this point in the interview where I was like, oh my God, I did not know Mark Ruffalo was so fucking based. The fact that he points out accurately that, RFK Jr. was never really a good guy. He's always been a fucking freak that's like tying up fucking whale heads to the top of his fucking car. But that he does that, oh my.
And he was in there talking to these people who had all their medical records in their hands, saying the state has turned its back on us. The federal government's turned its back on us. Our water's poisoned. We have all these diseases and illnesses that we have no way to account for. Our air is poisoned. Do something. And he said, well, I don't know what I can do, but I do think the gas is a very good thing. And then come to find out he was invested in natural gas at the time.
Shocker, capital rules under capitalism.
Turn to me. They're like, who are you? What are you? Can you help us? And I went home that night, and I was taught. I ran out of there.
Who are you?
Yeah, and I was like, who are you?
You didn't say I'm the guy from 13 going on 30.
Yes, I'll do the Thriller dance for you. And I did have to say, who am I? Am I really who I say I am? Yeah. Am I going to help my neighbors? Is this that teaching in action? Love thy neighbor, treat them like yourselves. Am I going to help my neighbors, or am I going to fuck off like everyone else who showed up there? And I
stuck around.
I stuck around.
And people know you for your environmental activism well before.
Yeah, that's where it really started for me.
I remember when I reached out to you for MSNBC, a lot of the thing was about climate at the time.
Yeah.
We were heading into a, re-election then that Trump lost back in the day, and I want to talk to you. I mean, you were so strong on the environment. Back in 2016, you narrated and produced a documentary, Dear President Obama, The Clean Energy Revolution Is Now. I mean, criticizing Obama is proper.
Holy shit, Mark Ruffalo is based. The other thing, too, is he's been based the whole time. There are people today who still don't criticize Obama. That he was criticizing Obama while Obama was in power. That is you don't do that.
lefty credentials. Some people some people
That's my secret cap. I'm always
tried to
based.
whitewash the Obama record. You know that his record wasn't so great in many areas.
No, it was not.
This whole interview.
Even coming out of the Iraq War, and I have to say, I was a hardcore peace demonstrator. I was anti-war,
Yeah, same.
especially the Iraq War.
You marched, I marched in the
Yes,
UK, you
I
marched
spoke.
in the US.
I was all over that thing, and to see Obama come in and not hold any of those people accountable. I mean, we're talking war crimes here, solid war crimes. By the way, it's the same people.
It's the same
The same people who are dragging us,
Yeah.
who have
They've been waiting.
continued Gaza,
Yeah.
and who have brought us to this place, are the same people who are for the Iraq War. We keep giving these same people a chance after the
Obama said, we got to look forward, not back. Isn't it funny? He comes in and goes, we've got to look forward, not back. Donald Trump comes in and goes, like, I'm going after all my enemies. Like,
Yeah.
Republicans know how to go after people. Democrats are always like, let's brush it under the carpet. Let's move on. Let's be friends.
Let's do what's politically expedient.
Yeah, and easy and
It's
not
easier.
painful.
But what we did was we set up our country for
Yes.
absolutely no consequences.
I mean, it's actually insane that Bolsonaro is getting like literally any consequences for his actions. And we as a country are so fucked. We're just so fucked that Trump can win an election after attempting an insurrection. That we did we were the fucking blueprint for what happened in Brazil. Fucked and cucked, yeah. We were the fucking blueprint for Brazil. And they punished that guy, and we didn't.
Agreed.
For actions.
And in fact,
with
Donald
politicians.
Trump wins because there's no accountability for Iraq. People forget that Iraq plays a role in Donald Trump.
100%.
Donald Trump in 2016, I was recently on the Breakfast Club. I made this point to Charlemagne. Donald Trump in 2016 goes up on a debate stage with a bunch of Republicans and he says to Jeb Bush, well, your brother was there when the Twin Towers came down. Your brother did Iraq. You gave us endless wars in the Middle East. And the crowd are cheering. And I'm sitting at home thinking, Republicans are cheering this? He saw that. He took advantage of that.
He did.
This has always been the Trump strategy. He takes advantage of people wanting X, Y, or Z, and then he doesn't do it. I'm going to help the poorest people in this country. Robs them. Like, he is the greatest con artist America has ever seen. In the entirety of American history, which is only a couple hundred years old, he is the greatest con man. It is actually insane. And the problem is people kind of love con men.
And of course, Hillary, his opponent in the general, was still weighed down by her support for the Iraq war.
I mean, it's exactly the same as Kamala bringing on fucking Liz Cheney. These people are weighing you down. Just because they are big names that are supporting you doesn't make them good. It doesn't fucking make them good.
So Iraq played a role in where we are today.
Oh, absolutely. And when
Donald Trump is literally a Hideo Kojima villain down to the gold themed everything. I saw like one post that said, this man is really the Antichrist, and it's because there's like a gold statue, which either they're making or they've made, and it's him holding a fucking Bitcoin. Like, what do you, what do we do? Like this post. Sorry, I censored it because the original post said this N-word is genuinely the Antichrist. But this man is genuinely the Antichrist. A 12-foot golden statue of President Trump holding a Bitcoin was unveiled outside the Capitol on 3rd Street. My real-time reaction to that information. I thought it was AI. I mean, it's from the America First Post, which I'm pretty sure this is a legitimate. I don't think this is a satire. This is not like The Onion, is it? Someone in chat can correct me if I'm mistaken. I don't think that this is like Babylon Bee, like The Onion. I'm pretty sure it's. AF Post isn't necessarily. They're not The Onion, but they're not necessarily reliable. Well, yeah, they're not like America First Post. I mean, come on. You can't. It's sort of the same thing with NPR. I know this is a crazy analogy to make, but they'll report on things that are happening. They'll just frame it as if it's good or bad to convince you of a position you didn't hold before. But the actual reporting can be real. It's the problem with NPR. It's not that what they say is lies. It's that they make all these false equivalencies and try and convince Americans that we should give the right of, a little bit of credit. And it's like, actually, no, we fucking shouldn't. We should take some lessons from how the right has actively used populism to win multiple elections in a row while absolutely fucking railing the people that live here. But yeah, it's sort of the same thing here. That was my understanding, that they don't report on like blatantly fake shit. Okay, so it's real. CNN reported on this. Bruh. Oh, and it looks so bad. Oh, and it looks so textured. Oh, it looks so bad. You can see the polygons on the circle. They didn't even bother trying to add a couple more points. God damn. Oh, it looks 3D printed. Oh my God. All right. Anyways, back to the interview.
They will all
Also, please go support Zeteo. Please go subscribe to their newsletters, subscribe to their, I think they have like a Patreon, but also you can support directly on their website. Please go do that because this is a great interview.
always be against this. It's the same story. Yeah, it's the exact same story. And it's the exact same people. But what the American public knew was that war was completely amoral. After half of them were chomping at the bit to go after anyone, and it just became bloodlust, like we saw happened here.
Yes.
And so they lost credibility because the American people had moved on. And the American people knew that Iraq was bullshit. The American people knew it was amoral.
And that they'd been lied to.
And they've been lied to.
You take Iraq, you take the financial crisis, the crash in 2008, and you're creating a toxic brew for a populist to run on as an anti-establishment guy.
100%. And then you kill Bernie.
And you kill Bernie.
Then you kill Bernie. You kill any kind of talk of socialism, which is what the antidote to populism is.
Yeah.
It's what FDR knew.
Yes.
Okay? It's how FDR fought it and won. You kill that within the Democratic Party, like we're seeing happen with Mamdani right now, and Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. Okay,
Yes.
You kill that language. You kill that.
Hello, base department.
Possibility. And what does the American people have left but populism? And so where do they
what
go?
kind of populism is it? That's the thing. Is it
Fucking
right-wing populism?
Right, yes. The kind of
Like what-
populism that others people,
Yes.
that creates white nationalism, that I mean, it isn't even these people are getting screwed.
Yes.
The mega people, for anyone who's left there, they either are completely like out of it and don't watch the news and aren't paying attention to anything, or they're so ideologically twisted and part of this cult that they've deceived themselves beyond.
Which is honestly this is just the Sam Cedar prompt on Jubilee, which is the only people that should support Donald Trump are billionaires and Christo-fascists, like evangelical fascists. And then a bunch of people went up there and they were like, I personally am the most fascistic, most bigoted, most racist person alive. And I support Trump. It's like, yeah, that's what the fucking prompt says. Congrats. Anyone else? Like, can I get someone who isn't a fucking Nazi to disagree with me? Can I get one person who isn't a fucking Nazi? But it's like, it's true. Like, this is the exact emotion that I hold. Like, the MAGA crowd is getting so fucked. As AB said, Ian is trying to fuck me in the ass. That's what is happening to the MAGA people today. Like, predominantly red states absolutely rely so heavily on federal funding. For every dollar that a state pays into the federal government, depending on the state, they might get an exact dollar back, or they might get less, or they might get more, right? And generally, states with really good economies don't need as much money from the federal government. So basically, overwhelmingly, blue states pay in more to the federal government than they ever receive. So think like any type of aid from the government, think of like FEMA. It's predominantly red states that take that money. Because blue states at least have some economy. There are two exceptions, Florida, because of Disney, and Texas, because so many companies are moving there because no taxes. But Texas is a weird one, right? Outside of those two, the entire Bible Belt takes in so much fucking money from the federal government, and they pay so little because there's no fucking industry in those states. The industry's been killed. Also, Texas has oil. Correct. Yes. Yes. Florida has a lot of tourism and has Disney, so it really boosts GDP heavily. But other states, just like there are so many red states that rely so heavily on subsidies. They rely so heavily on government aid. They rely heavily with regard to FEMA. They are net takers. Overwhelmingly net takers. What do you think is going to happen when the federal government starts cutting off all of its federal aid? Those red states are going to go to fucking shit, which is exactly what's been fucking happening. And blue states have enough economy, their GDP is high enough that they can stay afloat despite losing some of the aid that they were getting before. The red states are going to be way more fucked over. So like even think of like healthcare, like California has a great, I mean, relative, not to the other countries, to the United States, has a great healthcare program if you make under a certain amount of income. You mean red states rely on socialism? Sure, is weird. Yeah. California has like the economy of the size of Japan. Yeah. So like California can continue to subsidize healthcare for the very poor, even if they lose a lot of funding from the federal government, because they just make so much fucking money. You're assuming federal government won't keep taking the money from blue states? When did I assume that? They're going to keep taking the money. They just won't be giving out anymore, right? Blue states are still going to pay. They're just going to lose. They're still going to be like net positive because the GDP is just so insane. They're just not going to be making as much as they would have been making. They're just going to lose more per dollar. So if I forget the exact amount, but like I think California, for every dollar they pay in, I think they get like 80 cents back from the federal government. They might get 70 cents back now or 60 cents back now. Yeah, California and New York are the federal government at this point. I mean, they make so much of the GDP, but moving on. Not all blue states are safe, though. Unfortunately, in Vermont, we're the most blue/liberal, but we rely heavily on government funding, so not all blue states are safe. That is true. To be clear, there are very small blue states that just their GDP is just not high enough that are also going to get fucked over, which sucks. But it is overwhelmingly red states and conservatives that are getting fucked over the hardest by this. As a red state public health employee, all I do is cry. I just want you to know that you are so fucking brave. Holy shit. You are so brave. But moving on. It's sad. It's like really sad that all these people that vote for Trump are just getting super shafted. And they like, their education system has failed them. Their social safety nets have failed them. Their media environment has failed them. So, of course, they're going to keep voting for Trump, this guy who's actively making their life as bad as possible. Trump 2026. What the? This is like highbrow humor, right?
I can't see how long that's going to hold.
I think we live in, unfortunately, because of social media, he can create that echo chamber that they stay in. So Epstein files are not released. They're fine with it. Tax cuts to billionaires, not fine.
No,
they're
he's
fine
a
with
hero.
it.
He's an FBI informant.
FBI informant, according to Speaker.
Working for the FBI.
That's your next role.
Undercover.
That's your next FBI role.
Undercover to infiltrate the Epstein.
It's the one Dan Herschel meme. He's red for an amazing reason. For an amazing reason. This shit fucking took me out, dude. This one, let me pull it up. It's so good. I don't care how many times I've shown you guys this fucking post. It's quote tweeting. This post is breaking. Speaker of the House announces Trump was an FBI informant tasked with taking down Epstein. And it says, he's for an amazing reason. Excuse me, Denims, have you considered that maybe it's the trans ideologists that are making groceries expensive? So true, dude. So true.
World and save democracy.
Mark, that's your next role. If Sebastian Stan, if the Winter Soldier can play Donald Trump, Mark Ruffalo can play Donald Trump as an FBI informant.
I already did.
Uncovering the scandal in this country.
I did it in Mickey 17.
So
Can I just say, watching Mickey 17 and then watching Mark Ruffalo and being like, I'm pretty sure that's Mark Ruffalo. I don't know if they like they gave him veneers for sure, but I don't know if they put any other prosthetics on him. He looked pretty different. And I was watching it and like Mark Ruffalo playing this like character, Marshall, he does the double dick suck Trump dance. And I'm like, oh my God, the fucking Trumpian character. And for a moment I was like, oh, that's so great. And then I was inflicted with a severe amount of dread because I realized that there are people with such poor media literacy that they probably watched that movie and didn't understand that that character is making fun of Trump. And then I was a little bit sad. And I know people might be like, how can you watch that and not know that that guy is supposed to be, you know, Donald Trump? But then I remember that there are people who play Helldivers and consume the lore and they think it's not a game making fun of fascists. Like this fucking on the Kotaku and Action subreddit, so you know it's going to be good. So I've been thinking about writing this for a while and I stopped because it didn't feel like the time was right. Now with a resurgence, here, let me read the title. Quote, in Helldivers 2, you're fighting on the side of fascists. The game is mocking you right-wing chuds. How a bunch of woke people who proclaim themselves the most media literate are being trolled by Helldivers 2 by their own standards. Now, this was written before the Helldivers 2 devs came out and said objectively, yes, we're making fun of right-wing chuds. Correct. We tried to make it as on the nose as possible. I don't know how anyone is missing this, but it's really funny. They talk about this. They write down all these fucking points that make no fucking sense. They're like, the society is very equal with male and female Helldivers and bridge crew. And it's like, yeah, so was Starship Troopers, you fucking idiot. Okay, and then they go on all these things and they're like, well, oh yeah, well, if this is so fascist, then why is it good? And then they end with, those on about Helldivers 2 mocking the right-wing side, or more now the anti-woke side, are hilariously failing at the media literacy they claim to be so adept in and failing to realize it could be argued far more with an analysis of slightly more than surface level look at the game. The game is mocking them by showing them the kind of fascist society the woke side would create in the end, and the woke side haven't even realized it. Holy run-on sentence. Jesus Christ. What he's trying to say is, can you believe the wokies think the game is making fun of us? They claim to be media literate. Meanwhile, they're totally not. Like, dog, this is what's in the game. Please watch.
They escaped the farms. They murdered good citizens of Super Earth. Now, they're coming for you. The only thing that can stop them? A strong economy! Don't let your family get murdered. Spend your extra cash today.
Can you imagine playing this game and being like, thank goodness the game isn't making fun of me, a right-wing chud. Woo! It's making fun of the wokies. Oh my God. And then I was very sad because I was like, yeah, there are probably people who watched Mickey 17 and didn't realize that that was making fun of Trump, and that's really sad. It's really sad. That was just like a clip from Fox News, Denims. God, oh my God. Okay. Let's keep going.
The key point.
This interview only gets better and better.
Point, as you're pointing out, is there's this anger that Trump knows how to channel it. The left could have channeled it through Bernie. They could channel it now through Mamdani.
Yes.
They're choosing not to. Instead, you have Hakeem Jeffries, who Charlemagne calls APAC Shakur. You have Chuck Schumer, all friends of Wall Street, friends of big tech. These guys won't even endorse Mamdani. Like, are they the leaders the Democratic Party need at this moment?
They are the absolute antithesis of what the Democratic Party needs right now. And I hate to say that, but these guys are on such the wrong route for what we need. we have an antidote to this populist message. We finally have the left's version of how we do this and help people, and we do it for everybody. We don't exclude anybody. Even MAGA, you're welcome to come. We're talking to you. These are your politics. These are your issues that you need to have dealt with, and we hear that, and we're actually going to do it.
Young men are flocking to him, which Democrats struggle with.
Yes, I mean, so
he's leading with Jewish voters too,
but
despite all the propaganda.
What is it
that they won't endorse him?
Why, Chuck Schumer? Why are you doing this? Hakeem Jeffries, why are you doing this? You are.
Do you think it's the donors?
It's the donor class.
And
I am a Mark Ruffalo stan, fully. I am fully on the Mark Ruffalo boat. I am on this boat. I will sink with this ship, dude. Holy fuck.
And their own cowardice?
Once the Democrats became, well, it started with Citizens United. You talk to any politician, they'll tell you they spend 3/4 of their time on the phone. They hate fundraising. They hate it. And they spend all of their time on the phone raising funds, okay? And it's not like us when we give our money. We give our $2,000. We're not calling them every day like, what the hell are you doing? These people throw in their $1 million, $500,000, $100,000 into a PAC, and they own that. They got Chuck Schumer's cell phone, okay? They own it.
His flip phone.
The
leader of the Democrats doesn't have a smartphone.
I think the world's just left that behind now. You know, Chuck is a sweet guy, and I've known him for a long time, and he's done good things.
But it's time for him to go.
But they're not up to the moment.
They're not up to the moment. That's the key point. We're not facing fascism.
We are facing fascism, and they're acting like this is just another.
I gotta write a sternly worded letter.
Sternly worded letter. Ah!
Yeah, they need the Hulk. They need the fucking Hulk.
They need something.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And AIPAC.
Forget the Hulk. Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner would do it.
Listen to Bruce.
Even mild-mannered Bruce would be a tougher.
I saw Richie Torres on Adam.
So this was the clip that was circulating all over where basically it's just Mark Ruffalo glazing Adam Friedland, which, you know, I'm all here for this, you know. Yowie enjoyers, rise up. We are eating well. We are eating well. Please watch.
Adam Friedland.
Friedland. Yeah. Adam Friedland. I love this kid.
Great.
I watched him on there. And I'm watching a guy who, like, I know he has a core.
Yeah.
Like, I know he suffered. I know he came up. But what happens to you is you get bought little by little. Especially when you come up from nothing.
Yeah.
You really appreciate the people who help you. You're taught that as an ethos.
You feel you can't break with them.
Yes, you internalize their narrative.
Yeah.
Because they were there when no one else was.
Yeah. Even if that means you end up apologizing for the killing and maiming of children.
Yes. Even if that means you apologize for the killing and maiming. It is so hard to keep your moral integrity once you start taking the money. Once you make those little fudges, the distance it takes for you to return back to your moral center is quadruple the distance you walked away from it. I just think it becomes very, very hard.
Yes. And we're seeing it in real time.
We're seeing it.
It really is like the Tim Poolification. And I'm not talking about the Russia money. I'm talking about even before that. It is really the Tim Poolification, the Asmund Goldification of our congressmen, of our congresspeople, where Tim Pool saw that there was a market for inciting like fear into the hearts of Americans, that Europe was being taken over by these evil Muslim men. And he saw that market was there and he wanted to believe it. And so he kept making that media and he kept believing it a little bit more and he kept making it and believing it a little bit more and so on and so forth until eventually these people believe this shit basically fully. There's like a tiny part of their brain that's like, wait, maybe this is bad. And the rest of it is fully on fucking board. And it's like, it's very fucking sad. Because it's different. Now, they are, depending on your definition of the word grifter, they both are and are not grifters. Because it's like, I changed my mind on a lot of right-wingers after seeing Steven Crowder behave in private, where I really thought that like all of these people were just collecting their paycheck. Like they didn't care about any of this shit. They just collect their paycheck. Like Dave Rubin, absolutely. That guy is a grifter through and through. Blair White is a grifter through and through. And I thought sort of like a lot of them were like that they were just doing it for the money. And as they keep doing it for the money, jokingly, sarcastically, ironically, just for the bit, they start to like drink their own Kool-Aid. They like get high on their own fucking supply. And then they start to believe that shit. And there's like a percentage on like how much you believe this crazy shit. And I think like Richie Torres is like, I think he started not being bought into it. And he's like halfway bought into it at this point. Now, to be clear, that doesn't make a difference. You're taking this money to write off a genocide. I don't really care if you believe it or not, to be very clear before someone in chat writes some stupid shit. But it's just crazy that it like the money, it has a ring quality to it that it corrupts you. Because you're just so incentivized to believe the shit that you're spewing. Because it's a much easier worldview to have. It's much easier to take the money and be like, well, yeah, they're all terrorists, than it is to be like, damn, I'm really taking this money and I know that they're not terrorists. And then living with that, like living with that guilt, that's so much harder than just believing what they're saying. And it's the same thing with Richie Torres, where it's like, there's some part of him that's trying his best to like, when he sees maimed children in Palestine, he just like closes his eyes, closes his ears, and pretends like he doesn't see it. Because that's the only way he can like keep collecting those paychecks. Anonymous, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thank you. No disease. Thank you so much for the prime.
In real time, we need people to be grounded in their moral integrity right now, because that's where credibility is.
And history will judge us.
History is judging. History is judging us.
Is judging us. So let me ask you this. It's not just politicians. It's people in your industry. It's celebrities. It's people in public life. It's people in big law. It's people in big tech. It's artists. Everyone is being held to account right now, being asked, where are you? I mean, Miss Rachel, who's also sat in that seat when I interviewed her, wonderful. She's been very outspoken in saying, we're going to remember who was silent.
Where are you? Where the fuck are you?
And I think that's going to be a big question for a lot of people. Before we get to those people, again, just a background question for you. A lot of people watching, I've interviewed before, we've talked about Gaza before, you and I. But for people who don't know your own journey,
I really have to pee, but I'm still listening. I have my earbud with me. But this shit is really...
Not someone who woke up on October the 8th and said, what's this Middle East issue? I need to research it and find out where to stand. You've been involved in this struggle for a while. How did you get involved in Palestine activism, support for the Palestinian struggle?
It probably started around the Iraq War. And I started to ask myself, like, what is happening in that region? You know, and who is what's creating this tension? And then I just started to think of this issue. What is going on in Palestine? What is that story? What's really going on? I mean, these people, to have so strong a resistance to something, you have to have an oppressive force to have that kind of resistance. And that's an honest measure.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know what that was. And so I started to listen, started to read, started to listen, started to talk to people, started to break down this system of ignorance that is constantly being reinforced. I don't know. I've never seen such a propaganda machine that has been so delicately manufactured, that has made people so ignorant. And I was one of those people.
So you're researching this. You're talking to people. There are lights going off. You're like, what the hell?
Yes.
Why was I never told this?
Yes, and I'm. It's a lot of it is just feeling. I just was feeling that these people had this sweetness and this integrity and this righteousness that was undeniable and transcended ideology. It was real, you know? It came from something real. And then, of course, I started to see the asymmetrical just crushing of any kind of movement. But you know, and then it was escalating,
Yeah.
starting in 2014, you know. And then I spoke out on social media, and I got attacked in a way that I did not think was possible, and was being called an anti-Semite, was being stopped on the street from Israeli women asking me with their phone in my face, why are you an anti-Semite?
What do you do in that situation?
I said, why do you say I'm an anti-Semite? Why do you say I'm an anti-Semite? Because you're supporting the Palestinians.
It's that simple.
I was like, well, I'm an anti-Semite because I'm supporting the Palestinians. I should support the Israeli people too. You know, I'm a humanist.
And that's the craziest thing. It's like, let me say a couple things. First of all, the comments about anti-Semitism make no fucking sense, because you see someone like Miss Rachel, and she has she has said words about Israeli kids, about Israeli children, and she's still gotten flack. And her response has been, yeah, of course I have sympathy for any children that are being scarred in Israel. Of course, they did not consent to this conflict. They were born into this world. They don't know what the fuck is happening. They don't deserve to die. They don't deserve to be hurt or harmed. Like, they're also just children. But I'm sorry, there's way more Gazan children that are suffering, and it's not close. So yeah, I spend more time talking to Gazan children because they're the ones that are getting hurt disproportionately. And again, it's not close. I have love and respect in my heart for the protection of all children. And yet they still call Miss Rachel an anti-Semite. And they still call her an anti-Semite. And I've had this same perspective where I'm like, yeah, all of the civilians who died in Israel on October 7th, who had like nothing to do with this conflict, who were born in Israel, like the kids that are there, it's like, they didn't fucking choose to be born there. They didn't choose to be in the middle of a fucking hot zone because their settler parents were like, yeah, you know, it'd be really funny if we just like picked out this fucking settlement right outside the world's largest open air prison. Like, that's like, of course I have empathy for that. Of course I have sympathy for that. Those children didn't fucking deserve that. But somehow, if you spend any time at all talking about how the pager attacks are unbelievable that was an unbelievable war crime. If you talk about the starvation in Gaza, that's a war crime. If you talk about any of the weapons of war that they have used in Gaza, that those are all war crimes. If you talk about any of that, somehow you are anti-Semitic and you support terrorists. If you even choose at all to sympathize with Palestinians, it must mean that you side with Hamas. It must mean that you're pro-terrorism, and it must mean that you're anti-Semitic. And it's fucking insane.
Okay? What's happening there is inhumane.
Yeah.
And that's it. So if you think that's anti-Semitic, I find it incredibly, my teacher, Stella Adler, was a hardcore Jewish woman from Odessa, okay? That's where I learned my art form, okay? It's that Talmudic approach to life that makes me say this is wrong.
Yeah.
But to be called an anti-Semite after what we
career ending, especially in
what
your
we
industry.
learned growing up about the Holocaust, that genocide, what we all know to be so ugly, right?
Yeah.
It's the worst thing to be called an anti-Semite,
Especially in Hollywood.
anywhere.
No, but in Hollywood, it's career ending.
It
We've
is.
seen what's happened to Melissa
it's not
Barrera.
career ending.
Well, for some people.
Yeah, for some people it is.
And some people, I mean, I spoke to John Legend about this.
Yeah.
And I said, look, aren't you worried about being cancelled? Like, people are worried. People are worried about being, and he goes, look, I'm in a position, luckily, where I don't need to worry about that. But a lot of people, he said, tell him that they are. They keep quiet.
Yes,
do you have?
Thank you, Dr. Du. Because these people, the word anti-Semitism lost any meaning. I mean, yeah, Every single person that has claimed that Miss Rachel is anti-Semitic is contributing to the loss of that word, to the loss of value of that word. If you are calling Miss Rachel anti-Semitic, your words have no weight, they have no value, and you are the reason that the word anti-Semitic or anti-Semitism, or calling people anti-Semitic and anti-Semitic, or sorry, and saying that they're saying things that are under anti-Semitism, you're the reason that word is losing its fucking value.
Have that issue where people tell you, I would love to speak out like you, Mark,
Yes.
but I won't get another role again.
Yes. There's that fear. It's dropping now, and I'm seeing more and more people speaking out.
Just to remind everyone at home, you just signed a letter, 1,300 people,
That's right.
film workers for Palestine.
That's right.
Which is saying we will not allow our work and our art to be used as in any kind of complicity.
Whitewash, to be complicit, to whitewash apartheid, or to profit off apartheid or genocide.
And Emma Stone and Ava DuVernay, Olivia Colman, some big names in there.
Yes, very big names.
That list probably wouldn't have been that long a few years ago. It's getting bigger.
No way. No way. They've been trying to do this for 20 years. You know, this is not new.
You got pressure in 2021. I remember this because you and I were talking at the time. That people forget Israel bombed Gaza in 2021. It was a much briefer issue. And you said the G word back then, genocide.
Yeah.
And that was when you could not say it. That was when you would actually lose your job for saying genocide, for having the audacity to call it a genocide.
Yes.
People went nuts.
They went nuts.
And you came out and apologized and said the language was not right. Today, I assume you don't recall from the G word.
Not at all. This is absolutely a genocide. We have
The consensus
the
of the
majority of scholars.
Yeah.
Who,
Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, all of them.
B'Tselem.
Yep.
B'Tselem within Israel.
Genocide.
Probably, yes, genocide.
But people still throw the anti-Semitic label around, even now, just to completely empty it all
It's
meaning.
the Hasbara. It's part of that system of oppressing thought, oppressing free speech, oppressing the need to know, oppressing knowledge. That is a system that's been developed by Israel. And not just Israel, but enablers. And I understand why. I understand why. I mean, I understand this need after coming out of the Holocaust to protect yourself, you know? I understand it, okay? But you can't steal another people's nation from them.
Unless you have great propaganda like a land without a people for a people without a land.
And expect that to go well. That's like planting a seed of hatred and deceit and expecting it to flower with oranges.
It's not going to happen.
It's just not going to happen. And what's that Zola quote? If you take the truth and you bury it, put it in a box and bury it in the ground, it can't help but explode one day.
Hey, do you allow different opinions, or do you mostly want people to agree with you? I just want people to be funny and not be annoying. There's a lot of people in here that get banned that have the same politics as me, and they're so annoying and they get banned. I really just don't be fucking annoying. Just don't. As long as you're not annoying, okay?
It's exploding right now.
It's exploding.
Do you feel hopeful? I mean, people are dying in huge numbers. It's horrific.
How can you feel hopeful?
But that's my question
I'm
to you.
not feeling hopeful. It's heartbreaking, man. And why people have signed that thing now? Someone called me yesterday. It's like, did you see that the Israelis' response to this and how it's going to hurt and how filmmaking should transcend this? I was like, 100%, man. But we are in drastic times. This is a genocide, okay?
Child killed
This
every
is a
hour.
famine, a genocide, ethnic cleansing, human immigration. I mean, they're just pushing people off their land. This is do or die now. And we might have to take drastic measures. This is not a drastic measure. All we're saying, we're still allowed to work with anyone we want to. You know, all we're saying is the institutions and the people and the production companies that are actually profiting from this and who are whitewashing it and propagating it we will not work with. And that's the least. But you know what I really hope it does, Mehdi? I hope it opens up other industries to the same exact thing. Boycott, divest, sanction, and prosecute. That's the only thing that's going to stop this. We have to hit them economically because we've tried everything else. All those Israeli filmmakers that they're talking about who have told good stories, who have tried to tell the Palestinian experience, what has it done?
Yeah. One thing that bothers me is everything
Like, oh, hello, based fucking department? Hello? There are so few public figures that are willing to have even half the fucking spine that Mark Ruffalo is showing off right now. Like, there are so many celebrities that won't even say, oh, I'm pro-Palestine. Or won't even say, I'm against the genocide. I'm against the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians. I'm against the starvation of Palestinians. They won't even say that. They won't even say that. It's crazy.
has to be done in tribal ways. It's like you're pro this, you're pro that, you're this team, you're that team. As Miss Rachel has said, why can't you just care about kids being killed?
That's
like,
if we took care of the kids, not just there, but everywhere. If we focused on what their needs were and we met those needs, the world would be a fucking heaven.
Yeah.
It would be heavenly.
Just that baseline.
Just that baseline. But look what we're doing here in the United States. We're letting the kids get mowed down because of some crazy idea that we need weapons of war. To what? What are you going to do? You're going to fight the American government?
I know, it's insane.
What are you going to do? Like, how? What are you going to do with your weapons of war? You're going to kill other Americans is what you're going to do.
Is what's happening.
I met with some of the people whose families were killed on October 7th.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, in Israel. Okay.
My heart breaks for those kids to live through that. Okay. I've always felt this way, but it's asymmetrical, you know, like how many thousands of people have to die in order to have retribution for that, you know, and it is retribution because their own leaders speak about it in the terms of retribution. The quote, you know, what's a quaint idea is eye for an eye.
Yeah.
That's quaint.
It's biblical.
Eye for an eye. I wish it was eye for an eye.
Yeah. 50,000 eyes for one eye.
Yeah. I mean, that's a naive eye for an eye.
Which every single person who has even spent any effort at all to research the history of Israel, the history of Palestine, would know that the moment that October 7th was all over the news, everyone who had any knowledge at all of Israel's ongoing apartheid state, every single person knew, oh, for the 1,000 that were killed on October 7th, Israel's going to kill like at least 100,000. They're going to kill like at least 100,000 Palestinians. And there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
That's a naive. That's a naive.
But I guess that's what happens
notion.
when you devalue Palestinian life. It doesn't matter.
They've been look, who are we even hearing from in Palestine?
Yeah.
When you turn on the television, you hear the Palestinians speaking on their own behalf. I mean, here you and I are talking about them, you know?
Yeah. I mean, when I was at MSNBC, I went out on my way to platform Palestinian Voices, but most hosts don't.
They
Right?
don't.
Most hosts go, let's just get the IDF spokesman on. Like, and the studies have been done. The Sunday shows are filled with Israeli guests, Israeli military officials, members of Congress, no Palestinian voices on our Sunday morning shows.
It's a travesty.
So that then leads me to a question that might make you uncomfortable, but I'm going to ask it anyways. One of the Sunday shows is owned by ABC. Disney's owned by ABC. You do shows for Disney. Have you had pressure from on high to, Mark, shut the fuck up about this. Just keep your head down.
Never.
Promote Avengers, don't talk about Gaza.
Never.
No one's come to you.
Never.
Which I have to say, Mark Ruffalo using his privilege as like being the Hulk guy, that like they can't really just go and find another Hulk guy. And he's almost like too big to fail. Like his status as like an actor is just too massive, too major. He's just got too much aura, too much swag. They can't go after him. And then using that power to talk freely on Gaza is amazing.
I've had out other people's on smaller ways.
Yeah, like people in the industry say, hey, it's good for your career if you shut up.
Yeah, or you don't know what you're talking about. Palestine, it was never Palestine. The Palestinian people aren't a people.
His bitch too bad, his smoke too loud, his swag too different. Precisely.
Here's a tweet of a book from the 1500s that shows that Palestine never existed in this map. The thing looks like someone made it in a copy machine. I mean,
Have you lost?
Hulk is literally pro-Palestine even in the comics, and I'm not joking. Well, yeah, he like beats the shit out of like the Israeli like mascot, right? Hulk comics. Is her name Sabra? I might be tripping. I'm not tripping. It's this one. People finding this out is so just like incredible. I found out about this. I mean, I'm not really like a Marvel person, so I don't know most of this shit, but it's Hulk saying, boy died because boy's people and yours both want to own land. Boy died because you wouldn't share because of the two old books that say his people and yours must fight and kill for this land. Now boy is dead, but he didn't even read books. Hulk came looking for peace, but there is no peace here. And then this one, for an instant, Sabra prepares to give chase. She is, after all, an Israeli super agent, a soldier, a weapon of war. But she is also a woman capable of feeling capable. And then this is when it gets like cringe. But I'm pretty sure they do brawl at some point. I could be mistaken, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they brawl at some point. Oh, brother.
Craziest, I'm telling you, the people who I've thought were smart, who've been friends of mine.
That's what I was going to ask.
I can't talk to them anymore.
They're
either trying to convince me that the Palestinian people are all terrorists and
it's soon to be terrorists. It's baby terrorists.
All deserve to die. Or in the same breath, will tell me that they're actually human shields and they deserve to die because they're human shields. Okay?
These are people who were friends of yours pre-October 7th.
People who I thought were friends of mine.
And they're not anymore.
No.
You can't be friends with those people. You can't be friends with people who, when you show them innocent civilians dying, they tell you, well, they're human shields, they deserve to die. Like, you have no empathy. You have no humanity. You've lost your humanity. The only way to deal with those people is to cut them out of your life and say, this is not an acceptable worldview to hold. You cannot just shut your ears and close your eyes and pretend like these aren't innocent civilians dying. I cannot be friends with someone like this. I cannot. You have to first accept reality that innocent people are dying in Gaza. We have to agree on that. We have to start there. I am open to, helping someone realize that it's a genocide. But we can't start at, no, they're all terrorists. And if they're not terrorists, they're human shields. So I don't care, kill all 2 million people. We can't start there. I'm sorry. No.
I can't relate to them. And I have people who, after October 7th, I understand why Jewish people, that was so upsetting. I get it, and I understand that they feel that there has to be security. Mostly they don't consider the Palestinians or their story. They don't know much about it. I love these people. And at this point, we don't even talk about it anymore.
What do you make of, so we have people, I'm sure in Hollywood, just like I have people in my industry and my community and friends, the people who are like defending this genocide still, which is insane. You can't be friends with such people at this point. Then you have people like you who are speaking out, signing letters. What about most of the people who are in the middle? What about your friends and colleagues who you do movies with who just say nothing? How do you try and educate them? Do you proactively, is Mark Ruffalo like on set be like, hey guys, I'm doing this letter, do you want to sign? Or do you just be like, that guy, he's that political?
I've tried in other ways to kind of
Yeah.
platform people, because some people a lot of actors just
Chatter saying, but I live in Baravia. Stop.
aren't political
Yes.
as their kind of ethos.
Although a lot are political on a
Yes.
lot of issues, just not this one.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of them feel pressured. I mean, there's a lot of pressure. And it's not just the industry, it's family members,
Yes.
it's friends, It's taken people a long time to get where we are here
Yeah.
today. They know now. There's no denying what's happening. Unless you are so ideologically sort of tied up.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing people who were much more militantly for this starting to soften.
Yeah.
Because how do you not? I mean, how do you
How do you defend the
not?
famine?
I mean, how do you defend the TikToks of the IDF members cheering on the deaths of children? Like, how does that not fundamentally change your brain chemistry? How do you see IDF members being the most ghoulish freaks you've ever seen in your life, cheering on the death and destruction that is Gaza, and you feel nothing? Like, how? Like, that's the thing that I think is impossible for me. That's the thing that I think, like, I don't know how you can see these like pro rallies in Israel and be like, this is a both sides issue. Why is Hulk talking about Palestine? What did I miss? Well, I needed to show everyone how unbelievably fucking based Mark Ruffalo is.
How do you not?
Yeah.
And how can you say that so many people are lying? Like, how big of a conspiracy would it have to be for 80-90% of the world?
Yeah. All the human rights groups.
All the human
humanitarian
rights
aid.
groups.
My favorite one is Cindy McCain. Like, John McCain's widow is Hamas. Okay.
How insane do you have to be to actually believe?
Yeah, the what do they call it? The Pallywood? That like all of the footage from Gaza is all faked. It's like, really? Are you serious right now? Every single government is in on this crazy conspiracy, as well as all footage coming from Gaza, as well as every single person in Gaza, as well as the ICC, as well as the ICJ, as well as all of the doctors that have been there, as well as the Amnesty International. Really? As well as the UN? This is the world's greatest conspiracy theory, if this is true. The world's greatest conspiracy theory on the planet. Conspiracy on the planet, if this is true. Like, at some point, you just have to be fucking real. Like, just be fucking for real for 2 seconds, dude. Come on.
Believe that.
I did an event in...
I've seen combat footage from the IDF that looks exactly like what they're showing on the other side. Yeah, I mean, because it's too hard to fake this many people lying. It's just too difficult. It's the same reason that the moon landing can't be fake. It's too big of a conspiracy. Eventually, someone will squeak. Too big to rig, exactly.
Toronto last year, Mark, where I did a debate on anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism. And when I mentioned Oxfam, the crowd booed. The pro-Israel people booed Oxfam. And that's where you get to.
Sorry, really quickly, chat. You guys broke this guy. I've just been watching this in the corner of my eye being like... and this guy is like, I see it as a war. If the war in Afghanistan wasn't a genocide, why is the Israel war a genocide? In the latest attack in Gaza, Israel successfully got all the residents out before bombing a location of Hamas. And then says, you take rage bait way too seriously. I said it was a war. You took the rage bait. I know it's a genocide. Relax. Dude, I love Schrodinger's douchebag. Because you know these people are friendless losers. They've never actually had to apologize for using language that's rude. And instead, they just pull this shit out. every time. Like they're the biggest assholes on the planet. And then they're always like, I was kidding. I was just, what do you mean you're not going to talk to me anymore? What do you mean you hate that I do this every time instead of just apologizing? What do you mean by that? I just don't, but I was kidding. I was just joshing. I was joshing, dude. Like, this is the most bitch-made move on the planet. Like, you could not be a more bitch-made person than this type of person. So everybody, have fun, dude. Okay, please point and laugh as much as you'd like. This is the guy who pisses in the pool. Or sorry, pisses himself and then says, haha, rent-free. Assuming I'm actually a very nice person. Yeah, famously, nice people have to tell everyone that they're nice. Oh, let me guess. This is just more rage bait. You rage baited. Oh, so true. As you can see, I'm actively raging right now and definitely not laughing at you. Oh, I got it. Yep. So pathetic, dude. Try being genuine for once in your life and you might find circumstances improve when you're a genuine person.
We're almost out of time. I got to ask, quick question. Yeah. Kamala Harris is on a rehabilitation tour. She's got a memoir coming out. She got extract in the Atlantic talking about how Biden wouldn't let her, create daylight. Do you believe that the Gaza issue cost Harris and the Democrats the election last year? Played a role?
I was in Michigan as a surrogate speaking to the Arab communities because they thought, oh, well, Mark will be able to speak.
Yeah.
Let's throw Mark Ruffalo in there. They were not having it. They just weren't having it. Now, it's sad because some of the thinking was it can't get any worse.
Yeah,
and
it has. Yeah.
It has.
But some of the thinking was just, I cannot bring myself to vote for someone who
my family was wiped out.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of Democrats don't understand.
Tell me how I'm supposed to vote for this.
Yeah.
And I'm
which this is supposed to be the response that every single person has towards any pro-Palestinian activists. There is just not much else that pro-Palestinian activists can do. You can't make someone who's against genocide fundamentally vote for Kamala by saying, yeah, but the alternative is worse. That's not, you can't convince someone out of that position. You have to force the candidate who raised millions of dollars, or I think she raised like $1 billion. You have to force her to change her positions. I mean, he tried it. He fucking tried it and was like, dude, like, no, dude, they're not interested in whatever the fuck garbage you're selling. They want to know that you stand against genocide. That's the only thing that's going to move them. You have to earn their votes, dude. I'm sorry. We can't propagandize them hard enough to make them vote for you. You have to be a better candidate. What am I supposed to do for you? I don't know what and it's like people get so mad at Hassan because they're like, he didn't get Kamala elected. It's like, he is only what everybody else is on the left is already thinking. He isn't generating these ideas. He is showing what people feel about these things. Kamala lost all on her own. She girl bossed her way all on her own with her own damn bootstraps. Okay, and frankly, it's a little bit misogynistic to think that she needed a man to help her lose. Okay, that's sarcasm. For the love of God. She lost all on her own. Okay, you can't, Holocaust terrorists, don't say that. You can't get people to be moved by just putting enough fucking CNN hosts and saying, no, vote for her, vote for her, vote for her, please vote for her. We tried it with Hillary. And I was one of those people that was like, I was blaming voters during the Hillary era, where in my head, I was like, you guys are the reason we have Trump elected. And then I took a step back and I first of all, looked at the Pied Piper strategy that they had employed and looked at the unseriousness of the Hillary campaign and looked at the people, the voters. And at some point, you have to realize if your message is not appealing enough, people are not going to vote for you. And it doesn't matter. Guess what? Even if Hassan spent all 2 months, 3 months that she had when she elected when she said that she would be running, when Biden dropped out. Even if Hassan had done nothing but glaze her, she wouldn't have won because you're not going to convince people out of their anti-genocide position. It's so like unserious about actually winning to just be like, well, Hassan should have spent the past 4 years doing nothing but talking about how amazing and wonderful Kamala is. And that would have swayed people. It's like, no, they already think what they think. They already are against genocide. Like, what the fuck?
One day we'll get into it, but I was speaking to the NSC. I had a group of actors. We were interfacing with the NSC for months and months and months. And the line of bullshit that we were fed. I have all of the emails.
Feel free to publish them at
the
Zeteo.com.
line of bullshit, and that was coming from Blinken and Miller and Jake Sullivan. Those guys are now on this rehabilitation tour, and they are war criminals.
Yes.
Those guys, they designed this. They created whatever structure Trump is using now. They created it.
Before we go,
we have no choice but to stand. We have no choice. I had no idea who this. I knew that he was based. I had no idea the level of basedness. Calling Blinken a war criminal? Oh, mama.
5 years ago, you and I were talking on the eve of the 2020 election, and I asked you about the Trump presidency, and you said, I remember we were live on air, and you said, I wouldn't fucking believe it if somebody gave me a script, and you kind of threw it behind you. It went viral that moment, I remember. Because you and I were talking about how unbelievable it was. And again, can't get any more unbelievable. Since we did that interview, Donald Trump incited an insurrection, lost the election, went into private life, was supposedly finished, got prosecuted, got found liable for sexual abuse in a civil trial in New York, and then came back and became president again, and now is doing all this shit again. Again, if somebody gave, same question. If somebody put the script in front of you now saying, this is what's happened, this is the movie.
I'd quit
this is
the
the
business. I'd be like, worst song. This business is so
unrealistic.
It's so unrealistic now. But it's beyond fiction now.
Not me, like literally watching Mickey 17. And like, if you made me watch that movie like a decade ago, I'd be like, this is so unrealistic. No one would have this cult like admiration for some random person that doesn't give a shit about them. And now I'm like, this is not on the nose enough.
It's beyond fiction. And we don't know where it's, you know what though? I believe with every difficulty, there's a gift inherent in it. And with every action, there's a reaction, equal reaction. Just like we came out of last Trump and we had probably one of the most progressive presidents. I mean, you know,
on domestic terms.
Yes, on domestic terms, Biden was probably one of the most, since FDR probably. He didn't do a good job of communicating that. None of them did. They ran away from their progressive credentials, you know? They did some fucked up shit
It's a low bar, okay, guys?
on climate. You know?
The reality is like what he's saying is true. That relative to every other senator, Kamala had the most progressive voting history of any other senator. Like, you guys have to understand, his statement is factual. The bar is simply low. What he said is not inaccurate. What he said is accurate. And I mean, it is Biden. How many genders are there? At least 2? Or what did he say? At least 3? He did try, not very hard, might I add, to cancel student loan debt. He did try to push for infrastructure. I mean, his infrastructure bill was actually really good. Favorite Biden quote, definitely like top 5 favorite Biden quotes. That one and like the Himalaya Mountain one, definitely up there. He did try to, no, he actively put in place, first of all, protections for trans people, protections for queer people, all of which were undone by Trump. And also a lot of small things like when you order something online, there's all these bullshit fees. He attempted to fight that. When you get on an airline and your flight gets canceled or delayed, that you can request a refund, which Trump has undone. Like they're, in terms of Lena Khan alone, her existence, because her position was because of Biden, right? I missed her so much. I know. So like the thing is, chat, you can have a nuanced position about this, that you can say relative to the rest of American history, Kamala and Biden were the most progressive. Now, it's not a comment on how progressive they should have been. It's a comment on how shit this country is and where the bar is. Okay. The problems have just gotten so bad that even doing the bare minimum to address any problem also represents a historic amount of spending effort on that problem. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Bar so low, a cop was the best we got. Yeah. It's like saying this is the best thing at McDonald's. Yeah, exactly. 100%. I guess I just never realized how low the bar was. No, for sure. You guys should definitely look into like the executive orders that Biden signed into office. And like realistically, I'm joking, to be clear, but let's just pretend for a second. That he wasn't there when he was making the executive orders. And it was like, I would like to believe that the interns were like, yeah, he signed this. Yeah, trans rights. Yep, that's what he said. No, you can trust him. Right, Biden? Hi, anyways, Jack is telling me they're like, okay, sure, Mr. President. Okay, it was the Autobahn. Yeah. My headcanon. All the progressive policies. Every single one. It was an intern that was there helping him out. Yeah, okay, Grandpa. Now just sign that one. That's the one that makes the pudding taste really good. Yep. Okay, now sign that one. Yep. That's what I believe was happening to Corn Pop. That's what I like to believe. No, but moving on. I just wanted to clarify that.
No, but that's in the offing. If we can save our democracy, we will have a revitalization, reimagination of democracy, and we're seeing it happening with all these little, these candidates coming up who are connecting to people.
The Mumdanis, not the Jeffries.
Yes.
Mark, it's been an absolute pleasure. Let our viewers, listeners know where they can catch Task.
Task is on HBO right now, HBO Max, and we're putting out a new episode every week. So if you want to really have a show that has a pulse and to make your heart sing and you make your heart cry, check us out.
By the way, let people know, who is the antagonist? Who is the other brilliant actor?
Tom Pelphrey.
Amazing.
Amazing. He's the best thing in the show. He really is.
He's a fantastic
He's the best thing in the show.
Mark, it's been an absolute pleasure. We must not leave.
I'm not great with actor names. This interview was just really good. You guys should go support Zeteo. Go subscribe. Go give them clicks on their fucking website. Please go and support them. Fucking amazing episode. Just like such good. What the Jon Stewart? Just like so good. So good. Just excellent stuff all around. And I'm just happy that Mehdi Hasan gave us this, that he gave us this amazing interview, that he got to show all of us how fucking based Mark Ruffalo is. So good, dude. When did Hasan get so good at interviews? Listen, better Hasan has always been good, okay? All right? He's always been. Made me less embarrassed to like Marvel stuff. I mean, again, it's like, I view it the same way that I view like fast food, right? It follows a formula. It's always going to be the same. You can enjoy it. I don't think there's a crime, but moving on. So based.